Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League for the Highline Diecast 175 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joining me in the booth is just myself. Joe will be joining me in just a little bit, but for tonight's race, this is going to be a fun one. 70 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I think one of the best quotes that I've seen just leading up to tonight's race is the racing line is about as wide as a pencil. So it's something these drivers are going to have to deal with, and just hope you don't go side by side as the as you're racing in, like we see here with the 36 of Steve Bivacqua and the 31 of Corey Hutchinson. Hutchinson up on the board, actually just starting his lap. Let's jump. Well, I was going to say let's jump on board. It looks like Hutchinson's going to be starting over with his lap there. Jamar getting out on to the racetrack as well. That's the 28 of Jamar Dumas. See Jeremy Knut there going into turn 2 down the backstretch. Justin Malillo getting out there on the racetrack as well. Anthony DeBarro fastest so far with a lap time of 52.886. Ace House popping in the chat saying, can we just postpone this one till tomorrow? Having some internet issues at home and it won't be fixed until tomorrow. So a tough break there for Ace. Here is Malillo through turn 4. Let's jump on board and get you a lap here around the famed Brickyard. Long front and back stretch, perfect for the draft. You got to watch getting that run into the corner where you don't overdrive and take someone out. Also very easy to overdrive turns 1 and 3, especially depending on how the wind is blowing too. Back through turn 2, you want to get all the way down onto that white line. Be calm with the throttle as you get back down on the straightaway. This is one of those tracks where the draft is going to be massive. So any little bit of front end damage is certainly going to harm your lap time, should you have anything. This is one of those races, or one of those tracks where the restarts tend to get a little hairy. Like I mentioned, the racing line itself is very thin. And because of that, people are going to be jockeying for position. Here comes Philip Scott out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Or pardon me, out of turn 3. Down the front stretch. Love this low camera angle too. Really get to see the sense of speed. Let's pull up that dashboard too to see how fast these guys are going into turn 1. Looked like 190 miles an hour for Philip Scott. 53.342 is the lap time. In the Obstacle Factory Team Ninja Association machine is, oh, he gets a little sideways at it too. And that is going to be lap for him. Here's Cody Hutchinson. Or Corey Hutchinson, rather. In the number 31 machine. Very cool. Looks like he has the Samantha and Kyle Busch Bundle of Joy Foundation on the rear panel of his race car. Very cool to see that. It's cool, too, to see how the racing community as a whole has, you know, really paid tribute to Kyle and really supported his family in just such an unimaginably tough time. This is Robert Tripp pulling off to the side of the track. And just like that, the track has gone quiet for the most part, as Eric Jeffries out on track as well. But tonight's race,
guys, thanks for coming out.
Is
this is going to be a fun one.
the Highline Diecast 175. As I try to adjust the audio in here, turn off the racer chat because we definitely don't need that getting broadcast. But drivers getting ready to jump back out onto the racetrack. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's Highline Diecast 175. On the pole, who else? Driver of the number 27, Anthony DeBarro. He is on pole with a lap time of 52.871. Martin Plute on second on the outside row. Row number 2, we see Jamar Dumas alongside Philip Scott, Justin Malillo, and Ethan Amberg in row number 3. Adam Stewart and Corey Hutchinson make up row number 4, with Steve Bivacqua and Robert Tripp in row number 5. Row number 6, we see Jeremy Canute and Samuel Andrews, with Eric Jeffrey and Josiah Vincent in row 7. Row number 8, we see Stan Hausman and Tim Branson, with Jason Shu and Joey Barrett rounding out our 16 or 18 car field for this evening. A fun race here tonight, a tough race as well. So we're certainly looking forward to having quite a bit of fun here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Starting lineup is going to scroll across the top of your screen. And like I mentioned, tonight's race is the Highline Diecast 175. Highline Diecast Collectibles, your go-to source for high-quality NASCAR diecasts and memorabilia. Whether you're hunting for the latest releases, rare finds, or looking to sell your own collection, they have you covered. Plus, don't miss their live auctions every week on Whatnot, where you can score incredible deals on must-have collectibles and place your pre-orders on NASCAR's latest diecast at HighlineDiecast.com, where passion for racing meets collectible perfection. Well, as the pace truck pulls off, the field is in the command of the number 27 of Anthony DeBarro. Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is in the air. And we are racing here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A great start for the 27 of DeBarro. That's going to allow the 81 of Martin Plute to slot right in behind him. Further back, looks like Ethan Amberg getting some pressure onto Philip Scott. Oh, we see trouble already. First yellow of the race. Looks like Jeremy Canute had to take some evasive maneuvers. And we're going to get our first yellow of the race. Let's take a look to see what happened here, as Canute just got the left front into the grass and around he went. Luckily, though, not any contact. So Canute will be able to keep it rolling. Doesn't make any contact with the wall, so the car is okay as well. Looks like we're going to be back together as Anthony DeBarro leads lap 1. And you can hear DeBarro coasting through the corners, trying to save as much fuel as possible. Field working their way here down the back straightaway. Field working our first caution of the day. As the field catches the pace truck. It looks like, a couple drivers with some interesting strategies. Philip Scott, Ethan Amberg, as well as Jamar Dumas, with Robert Tripp just behind him. Same goes for Samuel Andrews, Josiah Vincent heading down pit road, Tim Branson, and looks like the majority of the back half of the field, including Joey Barrett, Jason Shu, all gonna stop down on pit road. Everyone just taking a little splash and top off. Obviously nothing super important, but being able to top off on fuel like that is going to be key. They should be able to run, you know, all things considered, maybe an extra lap of fuel, but even then, it's still a pretty good idea. You're giving up a lot of track position, but that's one of those things where, you know, you'll be able to go a little bit longer and maybe you can try to save and stretch that fuel even more. Indianapolis, a track that's always a bit of a fuel crunch and a fuel saving race. But everyone still rolling. Philip Scott lost a few spots from pitting, but he's the first car off of pit road. So everyone from 10th on back decided to hop down pit road to just top off on fuel. Field should be getting the 1 to go this time by. Looks like 4 more cars will head back down pit road again. That's Philip Scott, Jamar Dumas, Samuel Andrews, as well as Jason Shu. And again, it's just one of those things where that little tiny splash of fuel may not really feel like much or seem like much in the long run, but it's going to be good enough to maybe let them stay out a tiny bit longer compared to some of the other drivers who did head down pit road. So field working their first caution of the night. Anthony DeBarro, the leader. Martin Plute on his outside. Justin Melillo, Adam Stewart in row number 2. Corey Hutchinson with Steve Bivacqua, row number 3. Field getting ready. Pace truck pulling in. Field yet again in the hands of Anthony DeBarro as the pace truck pulls off. Green flag is in the air. And we're back racing here at Indy. A great start there from DeBarro, Melillo, and Plute side by side as they head off into turn 1. Hutchinson and Stewart side by side momentarily. Hutchinson's going to get the advantage. Now here comes Steve Bivacqua just in front. Side by side through turn 2. It gets real tight there on corner exit. Everyone minding their own business. And now the long drag strip down the back straightaway. 3 wide. As they get ready to head off into turn 3. Can they all sort it out? Looks like they do. Eric Jeffrey on the high side. Stan Hausman just behind him, Jeremy Knute here as well. Oh, Knute snags the outside wall. Vincent with a huge run as he gets around Joey Barrett. He's going to set his sights now on the 39 of Stan Hausman. Great racing here in the middle of the pack, as Vincent again getting a good run to the inside of Hausman. There's Josiah Vincent, currently sitting in P10 as the rest of the field looking to just stay single file a little bit further ahead. There's Steve Bevacqua alongside the 36, or the 14 rather, of Ethan Amberg. Amberg to the inside. He's going to slot around Bevacqua. A little bit further back, here's Philip Scott all over the back bumper of Stan Hausman. Scott running the bottom, Hausman running the ultra high line. That's one of those lines where if it works, you just keep going at it. The hard part is how loose these cars can get, especially earlier on in the run. It's going to tighten up quite a bit a little bit later, but you really do have to fight a loose condition race car, at least at the start of this run. Hop on board the 87 of Knute. Eric Jeffrey just behind him. You heard there, the 87 had to get out of the throttle, got sideways. Doesn't really hurt his momentum all that much down the back straightaway. But you could also hear just how out of the throttle they have to go. Oh, trouble. Looks like a little bit further back. That's the 39 of Stan Hausman. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that left side. Take a look to see what happened there to the 39. He's all the way up pretty high right there. Grabs the wall. Oh, hit off the wall. Got a little bit of contact with the 67 of Barrett. And Hausman just kind of has to limp his way back, losing a ton of momentum. But he has caught the back end of the field, so Hausman should be okay. Meanwhile, the Hutchinson versus Stewart battle is still going on. Oh, Hutchinson into the wall hard. A ton of damage. She knocked that wall down real hard. A lot of right front damage. Now he's going to be losing a bunch of spots. Already lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Potentially a 6 behind Dumas. Oh, Jeremy Knute now catches the wall. Shades of 2007 Indianapolis, where cars are catching the wall left and right. Take another look to see what happened with that 31. He just looked like he just got a little tight and slammed that wall. Let's see what happened with the 31 here as he just gets down in the corner and just pushes up tight, got in the wall a little too hard, and just really hit that right front hard. As we're back live now, 31 in the 87 now fighting it out. Meanwhile, out front, Anthony DeBarro's opened up a 3.2 second lead. But just behind him, the battle for second is starting to heat up. Nose to tail battle for second heating up. Working lap 12. One caution thus far tonight for the 87 of Jeremy Canute, getting a little sideways. As Corey Hutchinson looks like he may have grabbed the wall again, as he has got a ton of right front damage. That car is not going to be handling all too happily. Tonight's race is the HighlineDiecast.com 175. And Highline Diecast Collectibles is your go-to source for high-quality NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. Whether you're hunting for the latest releases, rare finds, or you're just looking to sell your collection, they have you covered. Plus, don't miss their live auctions every week on Whatnot, where you can score incredible deals on must-have collectibles and place your pre-orders on NASCAR's latest diecast at HighlineDiecast.com. It's where passion for racing meets collectible perfection. Really, really cool stuff that the folks over at Highline Diecast have. Those auctions are really cool to see. All the guys in the Speed Discord are always constantly sharing, you know, all the new pickups they've got and everything, which is just so cool to see that community that the folks over at HighlineDiecast.com have really created. Good battle here for 7th. Josiah Vincent trailing behind the 28 of Jamar Dumas. Dumas takes a peek to the inside of the 4 of Adam Stewart. Stewart slides up the racetrack. That's going to allow the 28 of Dumas to get going. Now Josiah Vincent also going to try to capitalize. Let's see if he'll be able to do it, as Stewart has the draft this time. Into turn 1, Stewart man in the top side, Vincent down low. You know, I say it a lot, but I truly do mean it, that the 4 of Adam Stewart, race over race, year over year, Adam has just constantly improved and picks up pace, really learns, seldom makes mistakes, and really just does a fantastic job of just hanging in there, getting good finishes, keeping the car in one piece, keeping it on the racing surface. And it's pretty dang cool to see Adam start picking up these positions. I'm also actually currently taking a look at the point standings here for TNR. Anthony DeBarro obviously is the points leader. But if we take a look after Talladega, it's round 16, Philip Scott is in second, only 75 points behind DeBarro. Shane Ewing in third, but Ewing not racing here tonight, which is a huge opportunity for Adam Stewart to just pick up some points. He's just about, I want to say, 80 points behind Ewing, but still going to be able to pick up those points as Stewart. So a good finish for him. Ace House just behind him, 2 points behind him. House definitely going to fall back a little bit more after not racing here tonight. But, I mean, very cool to see how good Adam Stewart's season has been, currently sitting P4 in the standings. Good battle here. Looks like one car, that's the 67 of Joey Barrett, grabs the outside wall, and these guys were all kind of racing under a blanket there, so good to see the evasive maneuvers work. No one able to crash into each other. Even further back, here's Tim Branson on the inside. Corey Hutchinson just starting to fall back even more. That right front damage is not going great for him. And a tough break at that, because he was having himself a great run. He started the race in 8th. He's all the way back to 17th. And certainly losing pace. His last time by, he did a 58.04 versus everyone else's 56. 55 and change laps. So it looks like the 31 may have had another issue there. Here's a battle, this one for P11. Robert Tripp to the inside of Eric Jeffrey. Jeffrey, one of 2 Canadians in tonight's race. The other being Samuel Andrews. But Robert Tripp there in the old Terry Labonte Piedmont Airlines machine. Great looking throwback paint. Tripp able to get the job done around Jeffrey. Andrews snags the wall towards the back. Now Eric Jeffrey trying to hold off Joey Barrett while also trying to put the pressure on Robert Tripp. Jeffrey up out of the groove. Has to give that position back, but now he's right on the back bumper of Barrett again. Eric Jeffrey in the Jeffrey Holmes 133. And the reason he's 133 is the 33 of Peter Short is a retired number. Always open for Short to come on back and race with us. So hence the 133. Although he is allowed to run 33 on his car. Up front, Philip Scott starting to get tracked down a little bit by Jamar Dumas. Both times there, Dumas was just a hair faster than Scott. As Martin Plute grabs the wall. He's got a little bit of right front damage. Plute drops back to 4th as Philip Scott gets around the 81, and looks like Plute may be heading to pit road. Martin Plute taking the access road between turns 3 and 4. He's going to head down onto pit road. Big lock up there. He grabs the inside wall. And that may not be a good thing. Yeah, it looks like Plout has gotten a black flag for speeding on pit road. So to add insult to injury for the 81. Behind him, Corey Hutchinson also coming down onto pit road. Interested to see if this is going to be one of those pit now, so pit 25, 50, and then go to the end. But as we say that, caution flag comes out. Looks like the 91 of Samuel Andrews has an issue. Let's take a look to see what happens. Andrews in the wall hard, and Stan Hausman, wrong place, wrong time, and whoa. Big slide there. Let's take a look one more time at what happened to the 91. Already got tight, grabs the outside wall, and unfortunately, Stan Hausman, wrong place, wrong time. Let's take one more look, this time from the roof of Jason's shoe to see what happened. Actually, let's ride along with Hausman first, and just a little tap. Let's go on board with Jason's shoe here and see how close that was for him. And you see the spin, and then, luckily, plenty of room for them to get by. So the field catching up behind the pace car. And now I feel like someone like Philip Scott, he fought his way up to fourth. But because of that yellow, Scott's efforts there in the beginning all kind of for nothing, is now the whole field's going to come down pit road and throw out whatever strategy those guys who did pit back on lap 2, which looks like that was Philip Scott, Jamar Dumas, and others. So everyone taking their fuel, everyone taking their tires. Josiah Vincent, first car out. A lot of other cars. Looks like Philip Scott loses a few spots, but Anthony DeBarro stays out front. Justin Melillo comes out in second. Ethan Amberg third. Philip Scott stays where he was in fourth. Dumas just behind him in fifth. Josiah Vincent up 8 spots since the drop of the green flag, as is Tim Branson and Jason Shue. Still a few cars on pit road. Steve Bevacqua, Samuel Andrews, Corey Hutchinson, Joey Barrett, Martin Plout. All these drivers able to get their damage fixed. As you see the 39 of Stan Hausman there as well. These drivers all collected the wall at one point or another, and you know, this is one of those times where for these drivers that's fantastic news, especially like Hutchinson. He was, you know, just falling back quickly, and he's able to get at least some of that damage fixed. As you can see, the pace car pulling up just behind them, so these guys are going to have to get going in order to not lose a lap. There goes Bevacqua. Barrett. Plout still on pit road. Looks like Hutchinson is going to elect to go down a lap. Jason Shue topping off. But lights on the pace car are off. Is now the field getting ready to go back racing. If you're just joining us, tonight's race is the Highline Diecast.com 175. Highline Diecast Collectibles is your go-to source for high-quality NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. Whether you're hunting for the latest releases, rare finds, or just looking to sell your own collection, they have you covered. Plus, don't miss their live auctions every week on Whatnot, where you can score incredible deals on those must-have collectibles. And you can place your pre-orders on NASCAR's latest diecast over at HighlineDiecast.com, where passion for racing meets collectible perfection. Big shout out to the folks at HighlineDiecast.com for jumping on the last two races of the season. They're going to be sponsoring both here and Homestead Miami next Monday night. But I cannot believe already just two more races, including this one, left here in the season for TNR 2026A. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm really looking forward to some more growth when we go back racing sometime towards the end of July. So only a few weeks off this off season. So just like that, the pace truck pulls off field yet again in the hands of Anthony DeBarro. As the field slowly makes their way into the restart zone, green flag is in the air, and we're back racing here at Indy. A good start there from the 27 of DeBarro. Amberg to the inside of Malillo. We'll see if Amberg can try to get that second spot. He does. Malillo a little squirrely there through turn two, but through turn one rather, but the whole field does make it through. Side by side for third are Philip Scott and Malillo. No real advantage to either driver. The draft is going to help by who's behind him. Vincent closer behind Philip Scott. They're three wide towards the back with Eric Jeffrey, Robert Tripp, and the 39 of Stan Hausman. They are able to clear and get themselves going in the right direction here, but they're still side by side. Martin Pluth, the only car one lap down, just trying to stay out of trouble. Let's hope he can get a yellow and try to get back in this thing. EV Moose 19 cheering on Jamar Dumas. There's Dumas. Jamar currently running in P6, trying to track down the two of Josiah Vincent. Vincent hot on the heels of Justin Malillo. Little three-car battle currently for the fourth position. Philip Scott has gotten around these drivers. Right now, Vincent, the biggest mover of the race, currently up 9 spots since the start of this race. Started back in 14th. Hutchinson back out on track. Oh, Robert Tripp goes for a ride. Big save from the 35. As he got all sorts of squirrely. Let's take a look at that one. Let's see exactly what happened to the 35. We'll jump on board with him in the driver's eye view. Yeah, car was already real sideways. Able to keep it back underneath him, and away he went. Good battle here. Steve Ivacqua gets around Stan Hausman. Eric Jeffrey just behind him. Martin Pluth also in the mix. Don't forget Pluth, though, one lap down. Lucky Dog candidate as well. Oh, Hausman grabs the outside wall. That means he's going to fall into the clutches of the 67 to Joey Barrett. We'll see if Barrett's going to be able to move around. Looks like he will, but now side by side still. Now Barrett clears him. Meanwhile, this battle for fourth really heating up. Josiah Vincent has it. Melillo trying to take it back. So we get the drone cam out. Taking a look here. There's Melillo getting pressured by the 28 of Jamar Dumas. Dumas sneaks a peek to the inside. And he'll get the pass done easily as the 53 Melillo just says, all right, bud, go for it. Not in the racing groove. Not working for me right now. Another close battle back here. This is the 39 of Stan Hausman trying to track down Joey Barrett. Robert Tripp just behind them. Good battle here. Adam Stewart trying to track down Jeremy Canute. Stewart started this race in 7th, currently running in 8th in the Welts Clothing Machine. Some real tight racing between the 87 and the 4. Tonight's camera angles brought to you by Track Cams for Gourmets. You can check it out in the link in our bio. Get these camera packs for yourself. TrackCams22.com. So cool to see these camera angles. There's just something about racing here at Indy and these stationary cameras that are just so cool. This battle between Canute and Stewart is really, really heating up. Look at that gap between the 4 and the 87. Scott Stewart in chat cheering on at him. These two drivers putting on one hell of a show. Here comes Stewart to the inside. That should slot him up to 7th, and it does. But will Canute be able to battle back? Looks like Martin Plute heads back down pit road. Another tight battle between the 39 and the 35. As well as Joey Barrett and Jason Shu just behind these two. But as I was saying, these two drivers not giving up on each other. Just about half a second now separates the 4 from the 87. Just past halfway here in the Highline Diecast 175. $36 down, 35 to go. Taking a look at the pit stops. And you can see here, Ethan Amberg, Philip Scott, Josiah Vincent, Jamar Dumas all came down pit road during the first yellow. They fought their way back up through the field. Not really on fresher tires, but with probably another lap or so extra fuel over the rest of the field. But that strategy kind of came back and bit them when the yellow flag came out on lap 22. Car field here tonight at Indianapolis. Great to see the car fields pick up. Had a bit of a lull at a point where there are 10 and even less than 10 drivers sometimes out on track. So very cool to see this merger with the folks at the Speed iRacing series. And if you want to get in on the action here at Speed, make sure you check them out online, speedcupseries.com. That'll get you over into the Discord and get you out on track with us next week, as well as for next season. Looking like a potential mid-July season resume for 2026B. Same car, driving the O'Reilly Series car, but a whole new schedule. And boy, is this thing going to be a ton of fun. Some real talented drivers here in the Speed iRacing series. And having this Speed TNR mashup is only going to do great things. Justin Malillo ducks down onto pit road. Maybe trying the undercut. Says, all right, I could probably make it 30 laps. Malillo, the first car onto pit road. Though I am a little surprised he only ran 7 laps. So honestly, a little bit surprised that he's pitting now. Would have thought maybe, okay, 25-50 to the end, but heck, maybe Malillo knows something we don't. Trying to do something different that the 27 of Anthony Tabaro isn't doing. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, good battle here. This one is for 11th. Robert Tripp putting the pressure on Stan Hausman. Hausman has it, Tripp wants it. Jason Shu ducks down onto pit road. Let's see where your favorite driver is on track with the track map. Well, Hausman catches the wall. That's going to let trip around him. Hopefully he didn't hit it too hard. He's got some right rear damage, but that also might have been just because of previous incidents. A little further up in the pack, this battle's been raging. Such a cool historic racetrack. Certainly on my bucket list to check out the Indy 500. Not much of a snake pit guy, but just to be able to go to the race and just watch the greatest spectacle in racing. It's so cool to see. Coke 600, Daytona 500, also bucket list races. Non-oval, but Daytona 24, even Le Mans would be so cool to see. Le Mans this weekend. So that'll be on my TV pretty much the entire weekend. I'm sure much to the chagrin of friends and family of mine. Also heading to Pocono at the same time, so we'll see. This battle seems to have subsided for the most part between Adam Stewart and Jeremy Canute. Stewart got the best of Canute. But Adam Stewart running sixth right now on pace, which is just so cool to see. You can tell the amount of practice that Adam's been doing this season really, truly paying off. I remember the first couple of seasons that Stewart raced, he'd always shoot me a DM on Discord just saying, hey, how do you race here? What's the deal? What's happening? As, whoa, Robert Tripp gets squirrely again out of turn 2. Stan Hausman on pit road. As he falls down a lap to Anthony DeBarro. Ethan Amberg, Philip Scott. This battle's gotten a little closer. This battle just will not let up. Josiah Vincent cannot get away from Jamar Dumas. Here's Philip Scott trying to track down Ethan Amberg. About almost 0.7 seconds separating these two as Tim Branson ducks down pit road. Now I feel like is the more realistic time where these guys can, I would say, almost definitely make it the rest of the way on fuel. Though it is going to be interesting to see if Murillo can save those extra laps. Because him pitting early like that may actually help him, but we'll certainly see. On board now with the two, Josiah Vincent looking back at Jamar Dumas. Dumas sticking right in those tire tracks. It's a little better drive into one or out of one. A little bobble there for both drivers, but distance staying just about equal. 0.2 seconds separate the two from the 28. Man, what a battle. Trying to get his nose in is Jamar Dumas, almost side by side. More cars on pit road. Joey Barrett enters pit road. Josiah Vincent there as well. Anthony DeBarro stays out one more lap. 23 laps remaining here at Indy. Jeremy Canute too fast entering, so he's got a black flag. Just behind him is Jamar Dumas. Anthony DeBarro still leading. Now he's got a about 5.5 second gap over Philip Scott. Scott in a little bit of lap traffic between Vincent and Adam Stewart. Scott just saying, yep, you've got faster tires. Go ahead, have fun. This fight here, Adam Stewart gets around Philip Scott. He's chasing down Josiah Vincent for position. Oh, Philip Scott grabs the outside wall. Been trying to track back down Robert Tripp. Meanwhile, Justin Melillo, he's tracked his way up to third as Anthony DeBarro ducks on the pit road. Could you imagine Justin Melillo, depending on where he is on the racetrack, he is 36 seconds behind Anthony DeBarro. The pit lane time total for Philip Scott was 53.6. Justin Melillo was 48 seconds. So we'll probably see more on the 48 side of things. Zandberg does get around Melillo. So we'll see here as DeBarro down and away. He's off the pit road. He has to run the access lane, so you have to go a little bit slower. As you see there, both Amberg and Melillo get around DeBarro. DeBarro pitted on lap 50. Amberg on 46. Justin Melillo, lap 38. So now the gap separating DeBarro from Melillo is about 2.5 seconds. Amberg about 1.6 seconds ahead, and now Philip Scott, the only driver yet to come down pit road. So we should expect Philip Scott to duck down pit road within the next lap or so. Oh, Scott gets in the wall. So pit lane time for these drivers, 48 seconds, 48 seconds, 51 seconds. He's got a 33-second gap over Ethan Amberg and closing. So in reality, he'll be about 7 seconds behind Amberg once he comes off the pit road. Keep an eye towards the left-hand side of your screen as you see Jason Shu there hiding behind the scoring monitor. There he goes. Let's see if we can see where these drivers are. There's Amberg right there. There's DeBarro. There's Melillo. Now Philip Scott is down and away. Here comes Jamar Dumas. Now Philip Scott is going to have the freshest tires, but he's only going to have about 18 laps to actually catch up with these guys. Meanwhile, this is the gap here between Amberg and DeBarro, 1.6 seconds. DeBarro is closing. DeBarro only 4-lap fresher tires, which shouldn't mean all that much, to be honest. Let's take a look where this all changes. Obviously, Amberg faster in those first 4 laps while DeBarro was heading down pit road. This here is going to be the biggest test to see who's faster. Amberg does a 54.55. DeBarro 1.3 seconds faster. So here comes Anthony DeBarro. Jeremy Knut pulls out of the way to let DeBarro go. And let's see what happens next. Andrews pulls down to let Amberg go. But this may slow up the 27 of DeBarro. It does ever so slightly. Jason Shu moves over, but he holds on to the racing line. That's going to force Amberg to go to the outside. DeBarro does catch up to him. Now Anthony DeBarro within striking distance as we head down the front straightaway. Amberg with Ghost on the back end of his car, trying to disappear from DeBarro. But that ain't happening. Here comes DeBarro to the inside. Anthony DeBarro takes the lead over Ethan Amberg. 16 laps to go. Justin Melillo, you see there in third at the top of your screen. Philip Scott 13 seconds behind this pack. However, last time by, Philip Scott did a 53.4 versus DeBarro's 54.2. So about 0.8 of a second faster, but he's got 15 laps to try to make up that 13.5 second gap. If Philip Scott keeps this 0.8 of a second pace over Anthony DeBarro, he will only make up 12 of his 13 seconds. So let's see what the lap difference is here. 53.9 for DeBarro. Gonna have to wait a little bit of time for Philip Scott to get around. Only a tenth faster was Scott. Definitely not enough at that pace. There's Jamar Dumas currently sitting in third. Oh, Jason Shu up in the wall. Josiah Vincent has to get out of the way. Looks like closest battle on the racetrack. Philip Scott trying to track down Justin Melillo. This is what the difference in about 14 lap fresher tires looks like. As Scott gets around Melillo pretty quickly, 2.2 seconds faster that last time through. Now Vincent all over the back bumper of Melillo. This is the battle for fifth, as Melillo trying everything he can to try to save as much fuel as possible. May not be a race winning strategy, but a pretty dang good strategy there for Melillo to try to keep that top 10. He tried to do what the leaders weren't doing. He just may not be able to save enough. Battle for 11th. Hausman has it. Jeffrey wants it. Pretty easily at that. Vincent trying to drive away from Melillo. Both Martin Blute and Corey Hutchinson, only two drivers out of the race. Jeremy Canute, the lucky dog contender for the time being. As now Philip Scott tracking down Jamar Dumas. The Tony Stewart Jaws radio comes to mind. As now Philip Scott does get around Dumas. So now let's see what this lap time difference is. Scott still 13 seconds behind DeBarro. Scott has been 2/10 every single lap, but still managing only a couple of tenths. Let's see what Scott does here. He did have to get around Jamar Dumas as Andrews ducks onto pit road, and yeah, just 2/10 slower this time. Curious to see, though, the lap difference between he and Amberg and Philip Scott. Or Ethan Amberg is 3/10 slower than Scott. And he has 5.5 seconds to pick up. That time 0.8 faster. So now only a 5-second gap. DeBarro ducks underneath Stan Hausman, putting him a lap down. Now he's going to set his sights on to Joey Barrett. Whoa! Hausman grabs the outside wall. Able to keep it away from the cone, so we're still going strong. Justin Malilla does say he's good. He just needs a yellow and 4 tires. So let's see if Malillo is going to get his wish. Coming to 6 to go. Anthony DeBarro, an 8-second lead over Ethan Amberg. And behind Amberg is Philip Scott, who is closing the gap. 3.8 now separate those two, with 5 to go. That time, Philip Scott 0.6 faster than Amberg. And if he keeps this pace up, he is going to pass Amberg, or at least catch him by the last lap. But we'll see here. That little speck of car out front, that is Ethan Amberg. Amberg gets around Stan Hausman. You can see a little bit of right front damage still on the 39 machine. Right over that hood flap. Five more laps now, coming to 4. As, oh, trouble! Yellow flag is out. And there are the hopes that Justin Malillo had, and Anthony DeBarro is going to have to weather another restart. Saw a little plume of smoke when we were riding on board with the 39. And oh, it looks like Jason Shu. Well, that's interesting. Jason Shu just kind of stopped on the racetrack there. Curious to see why that was the case. Now we got into the wall. Let's take a look here. Justin Malillo says, my prayers have been answered. So Shu through 3, looks fine there and just gets stuck up in the wall. Something had to have broken for him, as he got in the wall pretty hard. And then that's weird. Don't quite understand that, but as we go back to live action, Anthony DeBarro, Ethan Amberg, Philip Scott, the whole field ducks their way down onto pit road. As it's now time for the money stop. Let's see who has it. And see who thinks they can best Anthony DeBarro here. As Ethan Amberg drives through his box, he's going to have to back up. He does. Let's see who wins the race off of pit road. It's Philip Scott. Philip Scott with 2 tires, 10-second pit stop versus DeBarro's 14.5. So that changes things. So a little pit strategy call for the 99 team. As we come up on lap 68, the lap cars are going to pit here. Then we'll get the one to go next time by. Looks like no lapped cars are pitting, so everyone should be getting the wave around here. As the lights on the pace truck turn off, this is go time. Some extra racing. As we should be in a green-white checkered territory, because actually no, this is a natural green-white checkered. We'll get the green flag on lap 69. And then lap 70 will be the white flag. Philip Scott elects to take the top side. DeBarro on his inside. Row number 2, Josiah Vincent and Ethan Amberg. Justin Malillo, Adam Stewart in row number 3. And folks, this is going to get crazy. HighlineDiecast.com 175 overtime here at the Brickyard. Get ready for this. This is going to be nuts. Philip Scott is the control car, meaning he decides when to go green. Pace truck pulls off. Field in the hands of Philip Scott. DeBarro's looking to have a great restart, but 2 tires versus 4. Green flag is out. Couple of cars spin their tires. That's Ethan Amberg. Justin Melillo does get around him. They are going to black flag Melillo, but we'll likely see that one cleared. But a little bit further back, DeBarro and Melillo tangle. Philip Scott drives away. Adam Stewart just behind them snags the outside wall with 2 laps remaining. Looks like the black flag has been cleared for Justin Melillo. Battle for second. Melillo to the inside. DeBarro can't quite get his nose in. At turn number 4, white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go at the Brickyard. Can Philip Scott hang on, or does DeBarro have it? Here comes Ethan Amberg to the inside. 3 wide across the yard of bricks. Great battle for third between Vincent Amberg and Melillo, but let's see if DeBarro can catch up to Philip Scott. A couple of speed guys win last week. Can the TNR guys try to make a comeback here? Half a lap to go. Just about 1/10 of a second separates DeBarro from Scott. DeBarro to the inside. No contact. 1 more corner to go. Out of turn number 4, Anthony DeBarro gets around Philip Scott. Coming to the line, Anthony DeBarro wins a thriller at Indianapolis. Thrilling for one, heartbreaking for the other. As Anthony DeBarro gets the win in overtime over Philip Scott. He had to push, he had to prod. He got his nose in. And Anthony DeBarro, somehow, some way, gets the win here at Indianapolis in the HighlineDiecast.com 175. Wow. What a finish. As Anthony DeBarro burns it down across the yard of bricks. What a race, what a finish. Well, as DeBarro burns it down, let's get started on our post-race interviews. And I'm now joined by our third place finisher, driver of the number 53, Justin Malillo. And well, Justin, a pretty crazy finish there. First of all, really interesting fuel strategy there, coming into pit pretty early there. What were your thoughts with that?
Well, I was thinking that there could be a possibility for a caution flag at any point, and I kind of just was living on a prayer there for getting some sort of luck to go my way. I knew once I was good to go on fuel, I could potentially take two tires and try and jump it. I really only just wanted to lead a lap was all I really wanted to do, and Phil stayed out really long, and by the time Phil pitted, Ethan had also taken two tires and had already gotten around me, and Anthony had already caught me as well. So the lap led strategy was out the window, and then I was just holding on. I think I would have come in sixth if it would have went green to the end, and you know what? We got that lucky caution there. I don't know what happened that brought it out there. I don't particularly like when there are cautions that affect the outcome of the races, but as a competitor, I like that I was able to capitalize on it and get through there. I was really worried. Ethan got up and got into Josiah there on the restart, and I was like, "Crap! I just got myself a black flag." Thankfully, it got cleared there, and you know, Anthony was pretty loose there. And going down the backstretch on the second to last lap, I thought if I could just get by him, I might have a shot at Phil. I set my brake bias forward a little bit, a little further forward, so I wouldn't be that loose. I wanted to be a little bit tighter, but I ended up making it too tight. And yeah, we ended up third. And I will take that first podium finish here at TNR. Um, really fun group of guys. I know a lot of them from Speed, and yeah, we'll take that. I love this track. I love Indianapolis. It's a good one for all sorts of racing. In particular, the open wheelers from IndyCar. But you know what? These stock cars, specifically these specific uh uh NASCAR O'Reilly Series cars, they put on a really good show here too.
Yeah, they really do. And, just kind of watching them get sideways through the corner, you almost have to like control drift them sometimes just to make it go fast. And I'm sure that kind of adds to both the fun and the difficulty for these things.
If you set it a little bit too far on the right rear, you're going to be loose the entire time. If you set it too far on the right front, you're going to be tight the entire time. There is a balance, and I think the 27 really had it nailed tonight. I was a little bit tight all night long. I was loose on the start of the runs, tight on the end of the runs. I was overdriving it and really killing that right front. But yeah, if you can get that balance right, I really think the 27 had it absolutely nailed tonight. Right guy won tonight for sure, and I'm just happy to be talking to me after it.
Fair enough. Well, Justin, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear it.
Sure, yeah. Just thanks to TNR, thanks to Speed, thanks to Tabletop Trio for broadcasting this race. Thanks to iRacing for giving everybody a fantastic place to race, a fantastic community. I love this oval community here. I love all the communities here, honestly. Yeah, thanks to you, and thanks to everybody watching.
Awesome. Well, Justin, congrats on the P3 finish, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you next week after Homestead.
I hope so. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Justin Malillo, our third place finisher rather, here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And now I'm joined by our second place finisher, driver of the number 99 machine, Philip Scott. And well, Philip, one crazy finish there. Two tire call there at the end. Talk us through that overtime.
Yeah, it almost worked. The issue was I could feel how loose my car was when I came out of pit road. Like on pit X, I'm like, oh boy. And so I just I just went into totally unknown, and thankfully there was a bit of a stack up and a bunch of stuff behind me, and I was able to clear to borrow. I have for my my tires felt it felt really good that first lap, and then that second lap it felt a little tougher, and I could tell Tabaro was getting like a tenth closer. Um, but the issue was just because of how weird the two tire thing was. I tried to arc it a little too much into three, I think, which allowed him to pack the air on my right rear, and so that's how he was able to get under it. Because I was trying so hard to block him, try to get down to the apron, and it just wasn't enough. He just used the air perfectly, and yeah. So unfortunate, but honestly, he was the fastest guy today. But I was hoping I could steal one.
Well, I was talking just a little bit ago to Justin, and he was even saying with these cars, a little too much on the right front, the car gets super tight. A little too much on the right rear, the car gets super loose. I'm sure that was made even crazier by the fact that you only had two tires changed on that last stop.
Yeah, it felt really odd. But it worked when the tires were cool. That first lap I did, it just felt really good. I'm like, oh shoot, I could win. And but then the next one, it started to feel a little funny, and I wasn't sure once Anthony got his tires up to temp, and it's just like, oh boy. But yeah. And plus I had to, thankfully these straightaways are really long, so there was a couple of, because of the stack up on the restart, I had to clear a couple black flags, but thankfully it was it was not a big deal because I just could do it on the straightaways. Yeah. Similar thing. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say similar thing happened at Bristol where I had to clear black flags with 4 laps to go when I was fighting Schlosser for the win. But yeah, that was fun. I got it. But yeah, moral of the story, I should have just been more cognizant of the air on the right rear. It is what it is, and DeBarro played that final lap smarter than me. So yeah, good stuff.
Definitely one heck of a finish. Before I let you go, Philip, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yeah, shout out Obstacle Factory. I've had it on my car for a while, and we're finally open. So yippee! Go to the obstaclefactory.com, check out some obstacles, and yeah, maybe I think I'm thinking about keeping this red car, the Star Wars colors for maybe for next season. I'm not sure.
It's definitely been giving you some pretty good luck and some pretty good runs. Maybe save for Talladega. So hopefully we'll see that out there next week.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, that's Philip Scott, our second place finisher here tonight at Indy. And now I'm joined by our winner tonight, the driver of the number 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro. And Ant, crazy finish, dominated pretty much the entire race. Yellow flag comes out at the end. You wind up fighting off Philip Scott. Talk us through that pretty wild finish.
I just when the caution came on, my head instantly sunk. I just thought I had it wrapped. That's the worst feeling especially when you have a lead that big. And then I regrouped. I said, I'm like, I know someone's going to take 2. I wasn't sure who it was going to be, and it ended up being Philip. And he got a great restart. I don't know how he launched as good as he did with the old left rear tire, and we got down to 1. He got clear, and then it's the first time tonight that I had to deal with dirty air, so that was all new to me. I had to figure that out on the fly, and you saw me get loose there, and I forget who got underneath me, and I just sent in the 3, and I said I can't get the 3rd, or I'm never going to get back to the lead. And then I ran a corner behind Philip, and I'm like, wait, I'm not catching him as fast as I thought I would be on the 2 tires. So I ultimately down the back there, I was like, I'm way far back. I'm like, if he messes up, I have a chance at it. I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, I can't try to go easy into 3 and try to get a run off. I'm like, I have to just send it in there as hard as humanly possible and try to get some air on his spoiler. And I don't know how. It's the hardest I ever drove it in, even in qualifying. And I was able to get to close enough to his bumper where I kind of got him a little up the track, and I got under him. And once I had the clean air on my nose, I knew I had the better tires, and I was able to just get him to the line. I was so surprised that I was able to get that close to him entering 3 there.
Yeah, and seeing that run that you got down the back straight away, Philip was even saying, he's like, all right, I'm going to block as much as I can possibly, and then just being able to pack the air on the spoiler, like you had said, really, just kind of, you were able to get underneath of him, slowed him down, and away you went down out of 4.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to iRacing for their development with the aero and all of the cars. Like it's very impressive. It's kind of like almost what you see on TV, and these things are a handful behind other cars, and they don't make up their mind if they want to get tight, loose. They just do whatever kind of they want, and it's a handful side by side. I tell you, it's when you're out front, it's definitely a big time advantage. I don't know if I was as dominant as it seemed, but I just think I had that clean air, and ultimately it was just keeping that and keeping the track position was a big deal tonight.
That's for sure. And, Anthony, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs. Let's hear them.
Yeah, thank you for the broadcast each week. And, Philip for doing fill and admin on top of his racing duties. It's hard enough to drive these cars as it is. And then he's trying to clear black flags and all that. So thanks to Philip for when Garrett's not around, he fills in. And, looking forward to another season next year. I know we have one race, but unfortunately, I probably won't make it because I'm going to be camping up at Pocono Raceway. So we'll see how hungover I am Monday if I try to stumble into the race or not.
Well, I'm sure I'll run into you at Pocono at some point. But Anthony, congrats on the win, and who knows, maybe we'll chat with you next week.
Thank you. I'm camping in turn 1, so stop by and say hi.
Awesome. That's Anthony DeBarro, our winner tonight here at Indy. And let's take a look now at the excuse me. We'll take a look now at the final results for tonight's race. As getting the win is Anthony DeBarro. Philip Scott comes home P2 with Justin Melillo on the 3rd step of the podium. Josiah Vincent comes home in 4th with Ethan Amberg in 5th. Steve Bivacqua comes home 6th, a quiet, good run for him. Adam Stewart comes home in 7th with Jamar Dumas in 8th. Robert Tripp in 9th. And Tim Branson, another driver we have not talked about much of the race, but he comes home in 10th. Eric Jeffrey in 11th. Joey Barrett comes home 12th. Stan Hausman 13th. Jeremy Canute in 14th. Jason Shue 15th. Samuel Andrews 16th, with Martin Plute and Corey Hutchinson both out of the race. Well, that will just about do it for us. You could join us next Monday night here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network for the Highline Diecast 150 from Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight's race has been the HighlineDiecast.com 175 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And as always, Highline Diecast Collectibles is your go-to source for high-quality NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. Whether you're hunting for the latest releases, rare finds, or you're just looking to sell your own collection, they have you covered. Plus, don't miss their live auctions every week on Whatnot, where you can score incredible deals on some must-have collectibles and place your pre-orders on NASCAR's latest diecast over at HighlineDiecast.com, where passion for racing meets collectible perfection. So for one final time from the famous Yard of Bricks, I am Bob. This has been the Total Nonstop Racing League, HighlineDiecast.com 175. Have a great night.